Okay, so we got another question here asked by a men's group member. This is over at mensgroup.com. We run men's groups there. My name is Sean Gala. I'm the founder of Men's Group, and I'm a men's group facilitator. And the question we get asked a lot, and it just came up in the community forums here. I can't share the guy's name, but he says, "Hey guys, the wife and I just went through a pretty nasty divorce, the courts, etc. I'm wondering how to recover from this in a healthy way. I've noticed that a lot of my friends are suggesting that I just get back on the horse or that I come out and for beers or whatever, but I don't want to fall back into old patterns. What can you suggest for healthy approaches to recovering from a breakup? What are some healthy tools, etc.?" Great question. I love that this guy is recognizing his tendencies and he's trusting his gut, which is telling him, hey, those old ways of being, those ways that people say to handle a breakup or divorce or infidelity recovery or after a child custody battle, those aren't working for me. I don't want to go down that path. So here's what I've seen works in men's groups. And again, I don't have any experience with divorces, but I've been through a lot of breakups. I haven't been through child custody, but I've sat in men's groups with thousands of guys that are going through these kinds of things. And the first thing is that you need to let yourself feel. After a breakup or divorce, it's important you let yourself feel because it is a loss. You are grieving the same way somebody dies. You're grieving the loss. That person has basically died from your life, and that fantasy of your life together and what the future is going to look like, all this stuff that you projected, which is normal in relationships, the future that you create, that is also going to die. You're also going to have to mourn having that person around, having them right beside you a lot, sharing your life with them, etc. And even though you may not have done a lot of that in the later stages of the relationship, humans become used to having other humans around. And so you got to let yourself feel. You got to let yourself go through the stages of grieving. How do you do that? Because for us men, we aren't really taught how to feel, right? So after my last breakup where I was cheated on, I went out and got a punching bag based on the advice that I got from my men's group, which was that men need to move their emotional energy through their physical bodies. So the act of pushing away, punching something, no, fucker, whatever, just getting it out that way was a really productive way to move those feelings. And often after I get that anger out in a flurry, I would then sit down on the couch that was near my punching bag, and then I'd feel like crying. And I was like, that's weird. I felt angry. Now I feel like crying. That's a common thing for men, is the anger can be like a cap for the actual emotions that are down there. So it was great because not only did I move the anger, so I didn't take it out on people around me or take it out on my next partner, because that's what happens when we bottle feelings up. They get stuck in our nervous systems. That's science, by the way, not my opinion. And it also exposed me to the sadness, and it kind of opened that stuff up, which I wasn't used to feeling as a man. So no, step number one is you gotta go through those feelings to make them go away, because that's how feelings work, right? They come on, they get intense, and then they pass. But if you cut it off when it's being expressed, it'll just go on forever. It'll hang out in your body and fester there with anxiety, and will lead to the chances of you being more likely to have another breakup or infidelity or some dramatic scenario later on, because you just have this angst in your body. So you gotta feel. Some other tools that really helped me feel were going and talking to a counselor or a therapist, talking to my friends about it, watching breakup movies, or what my friend calls crying porn. Don't Google that, by the way. It's something different. You probably don't want to see. But watch stuff that will elicit emotions. It's important you get it out. A lot of us men, our emotions feel stuck. We don't even know how to get into them. So watching Marley and Me, the whole movie about a dog, a puppy till its old age and then dying, or watch videos of soldiers coming home if you're a veteran and their kids, being excited to see them or whatever. For me, it was commercials around parents and children reuniting and those kinds of things. That really helped me open those floodgates. Now, you're going to go through waves of feeling as you continue to get better. So there'll be periods like the first couple months or 3 months or maybe even 6 months might be pretty low. You know, you might be feeling really crummy, sad, depressed, angry, bitter, like pretty often, almost on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. But over time, those periods of time get shorter. As long as you're expressing those emotions, they get shorter and shorter and shorter. So, you know, after maybe 3 months, you might only be sad 2 days out of the 7-day week. And then after 6 months, you're only really feeling sad 1 day a week, or maybe for a weekend over the holidays or something. So just trust in the process. Feelings are like weather. The clouds roll in, the clouds roll out. Ultimately, you're the sky. You are the sun. The feelings will not overwhelm you, and they will pass if you let them. And just know that it will be a bit of a roller coaster for a while to come. Now, part 2 is staying away from unhealthy habits, because those unhealthy habits are going to make you feel crummy and jaded and angsty and angry. So, like, they'll contribute to the emotional mix that you already have going on. So things like drinking, going out there and sleeping with other people too quickly, all those classic suggestions that a lot of people give to guys after a breakup or divorce or an infidelity, just avoid them, you know, as best you can. I mean, you're human. You're going to have to, you know, soothe yourself in some ways. We all have our vices. It's totally cool if you slip into some bad habits for a time, especially when you're feeling down and out. But in general, the more positive things you can replace those bad habits with, for example, exercise, hanging out with friends, doing hobbies with people, working on your craft, like that stuff will end up giving you momentum. So try to steer yourself towards that stuff wherever possible, right? Instead of going to the bar, maybe go play a sport, join a sports league, or go to yoga and stretch, you know, just breathe and stretch. Learn an instrument, read books, you know, that you've always wanted to read, whatever. Part number 3 is community. So a lot of guys end up from day one when they go through a breakup or divorce, they look around and nobody's there. Unfortunately, this happens to a lot of guys because society is subtly pushing guys towards isolation. And it isn't often until times of crisis, especially in a breakup or divorce, when they look around, they realize they put all their emotional needs, all their closeness, all their intimate needs into their partner. When I say intimacy, I mean closeness. I don't mean sex. Most guys don't look to that for the guy friends to that. So it's important that you rebuild your support network, but that's really difficult to do when you're working a lot and you're trying to recover from this breakup and trying to rebuild healthy habits. And so it's like, how can you take a shortcut towards building community? And that's what meetup groups are for. That's what activity groups are for. That's also what men's groups are for. So we make it easy for you to come in and meet guys going through the exact same thing, so you can talk about those things. You can check out some of our free men's groups or discussion community over at mensgroup.com. But it's really important that you get around other people going through the same things so that you don't feel crazy. Because people not going through it, people that never been through divorce or child custody or been cheated on, they don't understand how intense that can be or some of the issues you're going to run into. Whereas there's lots of other men in our community, for example, who'd be like, hey, man, I've been there. Here's what you do. I got this. It's okay if you feel this, you know. You got this. Yeah. Me too. Those are the most powerful words in English, in my opinion. So getting yourself out there, rebuilding friendships, connecting with people. And then I think number 4 is learn the lessons of that demise of that relationship. Learn what you were responsible for from that breakup or divorce or infidelity. I see so many guys not taking or so many people in general do this, right? They get hurt by somebody. Maybe you were cheated on. Maybe somebody dragged you through the courts. And it's easy to place blame on that kind of a person or that gender or whatever and say they're the problem, or today this kind of person is the problem, when in reality, you invited that person into your life. You met them and you allowed them to get closer. The flags were probably there, and you did it for specific reasons that you need to understand so that it can't happen again. You know, you really need to learn the lessons and absorb those lessons so that when you go back out in the world and you end up dating, if you do date again, and I suggest that you do because it's a healthy thing. All the research shows that relationships are the number one driver of happiness and fulfillment. Then at least you're armed with the knowledge of that experiences. Those experiences and all that pain you went through weren't in vain because you took them and you benefited from all that hardship, and now it can serve you. So for me, after I got cheated on in my last relationship, I was like, no more, and I just said, what was I responsible for here? And I thought about this woman and how the flags were there early on. She was, she showed just some lack of character and some lack of empathy for people, and she cut people out of her life dramatically, and she was kind of like a little bit reckless with her sexuality at times, just like not caring about other people's feelings. But I invited that person into my life. Why did I do that? Again, the learning goes deeper. I did that because I felt lonely, and I just wanted some companionship, and I wanted sex, and I wanted to be with a young, beautiful woman. And so I let those flags slip by, and the result is that I ended up with somebody who, when times got tough, instead of sticking it out, hit the eject button by fucking somebody else. But I created the situation. I could have said, you know what, these flags, even though this is good, this isn't great, this isn't working for me, and I could have stuck it out for a partner who was more in line with me, but I didn't. I chose to stick in this. Every day I chose to stick in that relationship. That's my fault. And then as a result of that and that pain, but also learning those lessons, when I went back out and dated again, after processing the emotions for 6 months, after rebuilding my life and my community, after rebuilding healthy hobbies and stuff, and I felt good about myself, when I went back out to date, I looked at it very differently. I was much more aware of the flags. I was much more discerning. I was out on dates with beautiful, lovely, intelligent, successful women who were giving and just wanted to spend time with me and wanted to go to bed with me. And I'd just say, no to second dates, no to sex, those kinds of things, because I spotted those little flags that I didn't notice before. I noticed little differences in our sense of humor. I noticed little differences in the way we spent money. I noticed little differences in the way we want to spend free time. I noticed the differences in our curiosity about ourselves, how introspective they were, how open they were to counterpoints, how reasonable they seemed to be. And this is like second or third date. I knew through experience and the lessons I just learned that these little things end up being fucking big things later on, And so I was like, nope, not going to do that. Which my friends thought was crazy because these were gorgeous, lovely, awesome women that most men would kill to be with or would never have a chance to be with. And I was saying no after the second date, or I was saying no to going home with them at the end of the night because I knew I wanted something that was a better fit. I wasn't going to let myself get in a situation like that again. That resolve I had was only because I took the time to learn those lessons. So learn the lessons so that you can apply them to the future, so that, like me, then you can go on and find a partner where it's just easy. My current partner, we've been together now for almost 3 years. It's just cruisy. Things flow. We're on the same page. We communicate the same way. We have similar goals. We spend our free time similar. And so it's just like lovely and easy being around her. The physical life has been great, And so these things can serve you if you take the time. So in conclusion, you can do this, man. You can recover from your breakup in a healthy way, even if you don't have any healthy influences around you. Number one, you have to go through the feelings to get rid of them. and number two is to get around community, because that's really important. Number three is replace the unhealthy habits with healthy habits so that you feel good about your life. And then number four is take the lessons learned. Take responsibility for your side of how things played out, as uncomfortable as it may be, as poor as that partner might have been towards you, and as terrible things that they might have done, you still played a role in that. So really owning that, this combination of steps will really serve you moving forward. So I hope this helps. And again, we've got free men's groups and a free discussion community where guys, literally half of our community, of the thousands of guys in our community, are going through some sort of breakup or divorce or infidelity, or trying to save a relationship, child custody stuff, and they'd love to chat with you about it and just hear about what's going on with you. So thanks for listening, and I hope you'll tune in to some more men's group videos here. Hit subscribe below this video or somewhere around this video, because we're just getting started here. We're gonna share lots more great content like this. Okay, man. Good luck with your breakup, divorce, infidelity. I hope you recover in a healthy way.